in her former life.
Right.
And so she's not right now, but you never know. She could be back at it. But she's run the kitchen for us. She makes a ton of meals for Sisterhood. We typically end up pounding her for recipes anyways. So we're really grateful that she's going to make cauliflower risotto for us.
Can you stir
So
that?
I'm going to let you take it away.
Here we go. I'm
actually
going to start with a supplementary reading that it's called Facing Life Changes. It's by Debbie Perlman. It said, help me Hashem to find still moments, quiet spaces within reach to refresh my soul, seize my questions, my inner debates, and let me meditate on your goodness. Help me Hashem to nurture my courage, recalling moments of strength, remembering days of fortitude, the certainty of your regard. Help me Hashem to grasp changed visions, fill me curtains to blur my unhappiness, and wrap my tears with radiance. Your hand upon my face. Help me Hashem to turn to the light, warm face and fingers fresh, alive in your sight. Amen. Let's rock and roll.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, so my little history here.
Not going to waste a container on those.
Rice cauliflower was invented by Harrison Ford's son, Ben Ford. He was a chef in California, and he was calling it cauliflower couscous. But he was working with a chef in Austria, and they were making a lamb dish, and from that point on, it became cauliflower rice. So that's a little bit about it. And one of the ingredients that we're going to be using is nutritional yeast, which is what they're calling this now is not just for hippies, it's for everybody. It's a vegan, it has a savory flavor. You can use it in place of cheese, and it has a umami rich seasoning. So that's going to be used in the vegan risotto. So let's start, and show you.
Why does my camera keep going to?
£7 that I actually put in the Cuisinart, and I'll show you what the consistency is. And what I found was I got more volume out of the whole head of cauliflower than I did in the package. And the consistency of the package, I seem to have, looks like it has more stems in it than it actually is the florets of the cauliflower. One of the things you should look at when you get a cauliflower is that the florets are close together and they're not separated, because if they're separated, it's an older cauliflower. So look for one that's more compressed together. So what we're going to do now is let me see if I can move the computer a little bit. I have some in the food processor, and I'm going to pulse it just to give you an idea what it should look like when it comes out of the processor. Okay. I'm going to try the iPhone message, see if you can see it better this way. Can you, hold on. Can you see it this way or no? No? Okay. Let's try the other section. Hold on. Oops. Okay. So this is how it looks when it comes out of the food processor. You may have a little bit larger chunks that you would if you have it from the Trader Joe's and the rice cauliflower, but you can puree it a little bit more. So it's almost like snow falling down. It's the texture of it. So as we start.
Elaine has a question, Ida.
Yep.
Oh, hold on, Elaine. One second. Elaine, where are you? Okay, Elaine, you can ask your question. No.
Did you use just the florets or did you use the stems?
The stems, I did not use the stems. What I have is, where is it? I have oh my God. I saved the stems, here it goes. And I have a plastic bag that I keep in the refrigerator with all my odds and ends from vegetables to make vegetable broth. So I have pieces of the mushroom that I use for the risotto and the stems I take out. What I believe is in the already rice cauliflower, there are stems in it. Because some of the, I had a couple of purple pieces in it, so that tells me that it was from the stem of the cauliflower.
Well, there's purple cauliflower too.
Right, there is, but not in the white bag though.
Ah.
So this is what I save all my my vegetables, the pieces like your onions, your skins of your onions, I throw it in there until I got a half a bag, and then I just put it on the stove like you make chicken soup when you have a vegetable broth. So this is what I use it for. So we're warming up the pot. We're first starting off with the, let me get my recipe here. On my right side is the vegan, on my left side is the dairy. So each one gets a half a cup of broth. And what I used was the organic Trader Joe's vegetable broth. So we're warming it up. And everybody goes into the pool. We have the, this is from the cauliflower, the head of the cauliflower. And the vegan, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this on the side? This is the Trader Joe's. You see how a little piece of the purple's in there? I don't know if you could see that. Can you see that middle? That's the Trader Joe's rice cauliflower. Okay. Okay, so we want to make sure that we coat all the cauliflower with the vegetable broth. Now this usually takes like 5 to 6 minutes because it's a little bit, it's not cooked yet. So as you're cooking, the water's released and you're going to get more like an al dente. So while we're doing that, we're going to mix the coconut milk with the nutritional yeast. Let me see if you can get you a little mixer. Okay, so we're mixing it together. And the nutritional yeast, let me show you what it looks like.
Ida.
Go ahead.
Ida, Helen has a question.
Okay.
Can you substitute the frozen riced cauliflower?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, Ida is frozen. Uh-oh. She'll be back, hold on.
Do not defrost it, just throw it right in there, the vegetable broth.
There she is.
Okay, Ida, you're gonna have to say that one more time.
Oh, my connection was unstable. Yes, you can use the frozen rice cauliflower, okay, but don't defrost it. Just throw it right into the pot with the vegetable broth. You can do that. So this is what the nutritional yeast looks like. It has it's granule. It has and actually this is a very small bag at Trader Joe's. The other stores I went to, they were much larger, so this is a good size. And you can, it's vegan, it's gluten-free. So store it in a cool, dry place, and you should be fine. Okay, so we have, everything's cooking over here. So you'll see as you're cooking, there's going to be some steam coming up. I have my temperature on high on both burners because you want to get that cauliflower a little bit softer. So we usually should take like 5 to 6 minutes to do that.
Ida, when you're done making it al dente, should there still be liquid left?
There should be, you can, or you don't have to worry about it because as it's cooking, it's all absorbed into the cauliflower. You can have a little
Okay.
bit. I
have
to,
some left in mine, so I didn't know if I should drain it
yeah,
or leave
no,
it.
I would leave it for the flavor.
Okay.
There's some in here. And if you wanted to add miso, like a miso paste in there as well to the vegetable broth, that would give it another level of flavor.
Okay.
Or if you want to add some wine to it, that would work also. That also gives it another level. But it's really it's a forgiving recipe. You can add whatever broth you like. You don't have to do when you're making the vegan, you can probably do a beef broth if you want, or if you wanted to just do the miso. I saw a recipe where they actually put tahini in it instead of a coconut milk. That's another way of doing it. Okay. So I have an electric stove. You probably have a quicker set with a cauliflower if you have gas. Okay, so we have a little, let's go a little further. Okay, so at this point we will put in the, on the vegan, we'll put in the coconut milk and the nutritional yeast. Okay, so give that a good mix. And I lower the heat a little bit on here. So let it sit for a few minutes. Now with the dairy, I'm going to add, I have some whipping cream. I didn't have heavy cream, and so I decided to use some whipping cream. So we'll lower this to like a 3. I'll put that in there also. So you can see I don't know if you can see it. It's getting a little translucent. The cauliflower as it goes. Okay, so at this point, let me see what I have in this. Oh my God. Okay, if anybody has any questions, because I'm gonna let it cook for a couple of seconds. Any concerns, complaints?
How warm do you want the milk to get? Should it be bubbling?
Actually, I had it at room temperature. Some people like to warm it a little bit because you're putting it into a hot pot. Equals warm. You know,
Yeah, but while you're cooking it, do you want it to get to a bubble?
You're gonna see it's going to.
I take a screenshot.
You may get a little bit of a bubble. You may get some bubbling.
Okay.
But you don't want it to burn. You want to constantly keep on moving it so the consistency will get.
Okay.
Everything will be cooked. Okay, so load that one. So at this point, we're gonna put in the vegan cheese. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about that. The vegan cheese I purchased at Whole Foods. So this is the cheese itself. It's a vegan Gouda cheese, and it's kosher. It's 10 slices, 8 ounces. What I found was the shredded vegan cheese was more expensive and had more ingredients in it than the individual slices. So this is what they look like. And it actually had a very good taste to it. The individual. And you could chop it up, like they did here. You could chop it up, and it melted. It was a great melt. I really liked the way it worked. So we'll put that in. There you go. And keep on mixing it around. And if you find that you want more liquid in here, you can put it in. If you know, in terms of taste. So at this point, let's put a little bit of salt in it. Always taste your food as you're going along, because each segment of it changes. It brings out different flavors. So put a little salt on this one, and I'm going to add the cheese for this one too. So for the dairy, I couldn't get Parmesan. The butchery was too far to get to. So what I have is Cabot Alpine for the dairy. So you get to 1/2 cup. And mix that in. And then you mix in a little bit hotter on this. Okay, so now we're going to put in the mushrooms. I have, I saute the mushrooms ahead of time. I don't know if you can see them. They're a little bit brown. And let them sit, because you have that great liquid on the bottom. So you put that in, and that will also add another level to the.
Ida, did you just use just button mushrooms, or?
These are actually crimini mushrooms. It's you can use whatever, white mushrooms, whatever works well. If I put them into quarters. Some of them you know, they're a little bit bigger. I cut them into 3s, but any type of mushroom is good. You can use canned mushrooms, but make sure you drain the liquid first. Do not use the liquid from the can. So we're going to put some mushrooms in the. We'll do equal so they won't get upset. There you go. Okay. So as you can see how it's getting a little bit thicker.
Can you move your camera down?
Let me see, hold on. How's that? Is
Great.
that good? Yep, it's getting thicker. And the cheese is not all melted yet, so you have time to melt the cheese. And the same thing with the, this is a little bit, this burn is a little bit higher, but you can see that it's starting to get thicker as you go along. Okay, so now we'll put some peas. Just continue stirring as you go. Because it takes, I'd say, maybe it took me about 15 minutes. Once everything is in the pot, probably about 15 minutes watching it. Slow this a little bit. So what I usually add to the dairy, I add cream cheese. I like the consistency of the creaminess it brings to it. So I have a tablespoon of cream cheese to throw in. And you can use whipping cream, you can use light cream, you can use heavy cream, you can use milk. And what really binds it all together in the dairy is the cheese. The cheese definitely binds it.
So for Rose, who doesn't cook at all, remember, let's say you can't find yeast, or could you
Find what?
use
Yeast? Oh, the yeast?
like, yeah, what would you do instead?
Instead
Or
of
why
the
are we using
of the
yeast at all?
cheese. Well, you also have the vegan cheese, so that will give it flavor. This is just to give it another level. That's all. It's not mandatory in the vegan. It's just to, or you can maybe add another flavor. This cheese is Gouda. If you want to add another vegan cheese to it, another flavor of a vegan cheese. Okay, so what I usually do is I'll add some pepper. Nutmeg, not cinnamon. So it's a little nutmeg. It actually
Rosie, I see you. If you want to unmute yourself, then you can ask your question. Ida,
Okay.
Rosie has a question.
Okay.
I have a logistic question. This is for Carol also.
Mm-hmm.
When you, and actually help Elaine, when you are showing us how to cook, are you using your laptop, your phone, your tablet, a tripod? What exactly?
It's my laptop. I have my laptop.
Me
Is
too.
it on the counter?
No, we have it. I have it actually on a. I have a little small table in the kitchen. It's a high table, not a. And I have 2 boxes. It's sitting on top of 2 boxes.
Yeah, and I had
You
mine.
want to see? Hold on.
Mine was just on the counter, like kitty cornered.
So, here it is.
Yes. And I
Okay.
experimented today while I was on Zoom with Kate, and I found if I put it up on I have a rack in the kitchen, and I put it on there and kept adjusting it as she told me what she could see.
Right.
So if you use
I was
if you
looking at
use a
all-
phone, you can also open a cabinet and just put a coffee mug behind it and prop it up higher up
Prop
that
it up.
way if it helps.
I have a question on the recipe. Do you have problems with the cheese clumping?
Well, if you do, just add a little liquid to it.
Okay,
Add a little liquid to it and lower your heat.
okay.
Now, did you shred your cheese before you put it in?
Yeah, I use the shredded Parmesan.
Okay, so that may have a binder in it also. Just do a little at a time. You know,
Okay,
not the whole full half cup. Just gradually put it in a little.
too late, but okay.
So it's pretty much done. And I actually made some this morning. So this is the vegan. Can you see the vegan one?
You might have to bring it closer, Ida.
Okay, here we go. This is the vegan. I have toasted coconut on top. The consistency, it's creamy.
Looks
And
yummy.
actually, it's set.
Do you still have some
So-
liquid on top?
Excuse
Or
me?
did it all absorb?
No, the coconut.
No, is there still liquid from the milk?
Nope, there's no everything absorbed.
Ah,
Everything.
okay, mine didn't all absorb. Okay,
Usually, it will. It'll definitely absorb. It probably takes about 15-20 minutes. And what I usually do is I make this ahead of time, or I can make it the day before, and the next day it's even better. It's like lasagna. It actually congeals and holds a really good spoon. You don't even have to, just like risotto. So this is the vegan, and this is the dairy. It has the same. Can you see that little?
A little closer.
And Ida, do you
Ida, can you
do
bring
you
it closer?
reheat it in the microwave, or you put it in a pot to bring it to temperature?
I would put it in the microwave. You'll have to mix it. I usually just put it in the oven on 350, or I put it on convection for 10 minutes.
Smart.
And, but it definitely, as the days progress, the cauliflower soaks up more of the moisture. So right now, I made this at 2 o'clock. So all the liquid is gone. It's pretty much been absorbed. If you
Do you
feel,
put the coconut on top of the dairy version too?
yeah, you can. You can toast it up, which I did.
Okay.
You can. I have pieces of salmon you can put in it if you wanted to make a meal out of it.
That's what I was gonna ask. You do sometimes add other stuff?
You can do that, but you don't have to use mushrooms. You can use diced up butternut squash. You can use diced up zucchini. But I would say vegetables that have water in it, like your zucchini, your squash, and your mushrooms, I would saute them a little bit ahead of time, like the mushrooms. And then with the zucchini, I wouldn't save all the water because it really drains a lot. Just put it in there because you don't want it to get mushy. The more water the vegetable has, the mushier it's going to get in the squash. But you can do any vegetable except beets, because beets will bleed. You don't want to have a different color on the.
Have red risotto.
And that's it. And you probably it probably stays about 5 days in your refrigerator. It'll hold really well. You can probably, if it's for leftovers, you may want to make little risotto balls out of it. You could pan fry them too if you have leftovers, because the consistency is almost like a mashed potato.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, you could make like Italian rice balls and roll them in panko and fry.
Right, you can do that too, probably. Yep, because it has that same consistency. And I think that's about it.
Even you could probably do that, Rosalie.
Rosalie, if you come over, you can try
My
it.
voice is a little scratchy.
You can't come over.
You had me at frying. I have a question. If you
Sure.
can't find if you can't find yeast, can you use beer? Have you ever experienced
Well,
that?
you can use the beer in the beginning instead of vegetable broth. You can put
Yeah.
the beer in, definitely.
Ah,
But
okay.
it won't be gluten-free because beer is not gluten-free.
that's true. That's true.
Corona is
You can
gluten-free.
use some wine.
I think
Wine
it's
is
important
also-
that everybody knows that this nutritional yeast is not for rising. It's just for the flavor.
What's for the flavor?
Oh, it is?
Supposed to be like
On the
cheese.
vegan.
But
And it's just
something
on
you
the
can, they say
It's a nutty flavor.
you can put them in scrambled
So-
eggs on top of pizza.
Right,
We
but
actually made it. Becky and I made it macaroni and cheese, but she was able to taste it, and it's really an acquired taste.
Do not have kids quesadillas. It does
So
not
the
work.
yeast is only in the vegan version.
Do not put it in quesadillas. Got
Isn't
it.
it supposed to be a substitute for cheese, nutritional yeast?
yeah,
So the yeast
Yeah.
is in the vegan version.
right.
I see. Okay, that's helpful. Thank
Wait,
you.
Ida, remind me. You put it in macaroni and cheese and I didn't like it.
No, you didn't like it.
Oh. I didn't.
Because I think we were doing we didn't have any, something we were missing flour or something. I know what, I made a gluten-free mac and cheese. That's what it was. And I used this instead of the flour to bind it. You have to be creative, you know? You need to find. So this is, let me see what else I can show you
Nancy's
that I
turned
have.
out. Nancy, is it good?
I use avocado oil because it's a better fat to use for cooking instead of corn oil. So it's something to look into. It also takes the high heat as well. It goes up to 450 degrees. So for saturated
I know
fat,
I'm at a
you don't
Zoom
want to go with corn oil or
class
safflower oil.
from the
Use
Sisterhood,
avocado.
teaching how to make
And
cauliflower
And
risotto.
somebody mute Rosie.
the Badia sage from Market Basket that I use because it's also gluten-free.
Mhm.
So
It tastes good.
That's
yeah,
it.
definitely good.
Who said that, Nancy?
Nancy, yeah, she was making it along with her.
Oh,
Well,
So,
that's the point. Now I have dinner, right?
so you
Did you make the
basically took
vegan
out the
or-
carbs and added fat. So this is like a keto. It's like a keto kind of. meal.
I'm gonna give you another little hint.
Keto people would like it.
Let me see what I have. You can probably also add like fresh basil, chopped up fresh basil and the herbs to it if you wanted to add a different.
Sure.
This is an avocado hint. Make sure when you buy avocados that the stem is attached to the avocado. Once that stem is removed, it pulls little air pockets, and that's where the avocado gets wet
Yes.
right away.
The source.
I don't want to add that.
Keep on looking out for your stems in the avocado.
So does the sort of the farty cauliflower odor get cooked out with this recipe?
I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
But you know what, when you come in a house, you know somebody's been cooking cauliflower or broccoli because it smells a little sulfurous. Does that get cooked out with this?
You don't really smell any sulfur on the cauliflower. I don't
Nancy, yes, true?
I didn't think it smelled. I thought it was.
I know with the broccoli you can, but I really haven't. I find it gets better as the hours progress, the flavor of it. But you can cook it the day before and serve it the next day.
Yeah, there was a New York Times recipe for cauliflower lasagna. And I happen to have a cauliflower that had no purpose in the world. So I made it, you fried the pieces of cauliflower, fried them. And then
you
that
fried the
was
cauliflower?
one layer in the lasagna. It was delicious, but the next day, oh, very farty. Not the people, but when you open the dish of the leftovers.
Oh, you had that.
It was cauliflower, yeah.
It's like having a piece of venison in the refrigerator.
By the way, Ida, I really like your apron.
Oh, good.
Show it to people and see if they can read the Yiddish.
Let's see.
No, I had,
Let's see your apron, Ida.
oh, it has the Yid stock.
Oh, too far. Oh, my eyes can't do that.
Oh, it has the Yid stock.
Oh.
I had another one that said oy vey, but I don't know if I wanted to do it. I was testing it out to see which one. So
Well, this is really good. So Elaine, next week at 6:30, you're on. So if you could get us the recipe ahead of time, we can advertise it all up.
I'm going to get it to, I'll do Kugel and I'll get it to Rosalie by Friday.
Awesome.
if you have any questions, you can email me.
No blitz souffle?
Well, here's the thing with it. I'll know by Friday if I can get my hands on some blintzes, and then because I don't know if you were here when I said if I'm going to make blintzes myself from scratch, I'm not putting them in a souffle.
Right.
But if I can get the frozen ones, then I'll
market
make.
basket. Yeah.
If you can get the frozen ones, you have to let us know where we can get them too, because
Yes.
I like making it while you guys make it, so I have a meal that
I'll have
day.
to see because my children are my guardians, and I'm not allowed into the grocery store.
Oh, right.
So I'll have to send Heather to the grocery store to see if she can find blintzes.
I'm trying to think. Sometimes
Ida,
Good job, Ida. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
See you.
Ida,
I have plans for the next one too.
What?
I have plans for the next one also.
What's that?
All right.
What's the plans?
Ida,
Yes.